Hello everyone. Today's lesson is lesson 15, making a multiplication table. So here I've listed several sequences of numbers, and together these sequences form an important pattern. So for zeros, it's all zeros. Ones, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If we count by twos, we go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Counting by 3, we go 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. If we count by fours, we go 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. Counting by fives is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And counting by sixes, we go 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36. This pattern is sometimes called a multiplication table. And a multiplication table usually lists the first 10 or more multiples of whole numbers. So this one goes from 0 to 10. Okay. So on a multiplication table, I can find answers to questions, such as how much is 3 fours? I would do that by using the rows and columns on the table. The rows run left to right, and the columns run top to bottom. Okay. So if I want to know how much 3 fours equals, I would take the row that starts with 3 and go over until it lines up with the column that equals 4. So 3 fours equals 12. Okay. So numbers that we multiply together are called factors. So in this case, 3 times 4 equals 12. So the 3 and the 4 are what we call factors. Okay. The answer is called the product. Okay. From the table, you can see that 3 and through groups of 4, 3 times 4 is 12. Okay. Now, what about 4 times 3? So if I start with the 4 and I go over to the 3, we see that 4 times 3 equals 12 as well. Remember, this is a commutative property, which is the same for multiplication as addition. Now, notice the row of zeros. Okay, we can see that 0 times any 0 equals 0. Or 0 times any number equals 0. And the same with here. So anytime we multiply by 0, we get 0. And this is called the property of 0 for multiplication. So I could do 100 times 0, and my answer is still going to be 0. Okay. Now also notice that anytime I multiply 1 times a number, it always equals that number. For example, 1 times 1 is 1, 1 times 2 is 2, 1 times 3 is 3, etc. So anytime I multiply 1 times a number, it equals that same number. This is called the identity property of multiplication. Okay. So we need to figure out find the indicated row and column meet, and then write the number as your answer. Right? So for A, it's telling us to start at 5 and go over, and 4 and go down. So we're going to start at 5 and go over, and 4 and go down, and my answer is 20. So that means that 5 times 4 is 20. Okay. For the next one, it says to start at 6. So here's 6, and at 2. So where 6 and 2 meet, that is 12. Okay. All right. So this one says to do 3 and 6. So 3 and 6, and then I follow them over until we line up, and that equals 18. And the last one is 8 and 10. So we follow it over, and 8 times 10 equals 80. Okay. Let's say I wanted to find the answer for the problem 6 times 7. Well, I would start with 6 on the left and 7 at the top, and I'd follow it over until they run into each other. So 6 times 7 equals 42. Okay, and that's it for this lesson. Good luck on your homework.